What's up? What's up, Nick? All right, let me get everybody admitted into the waiting room. We got Bearded Wood Butcher in the house. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. What's up? Lighthouser. What's going on? Sade Sanders, Donette. Let's see, one second. Somebody give me a Facebook inbox or a comment. Let me know you guys can hear me. Game time. All right, welcome everybody out to today's webinar. Guys, we are going to share some powerful information today. I know there's been a lot of people that have been asking me about T-shirts, right? And that's people outside my family, inside the family, people that are just sitting at home due to COVID-19. People are quarantined right now, obviously. For the most part, I think there's possibly a couple states that might not be, possibly a couple states that are going to open sooner than later. And even talks of them opening partially the country. So hope everybody is doing well. I know it's something that has been really devastating for a lot of families, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about the positive side of things today. And most people don't realize that 2008, 2010, you know, we had a recession, and I didn't realize this, but with hindsight, we were actually able to build we'll say wealth, assets, things, you know, pay off debt, stop being, you know, so hurt in the sense of financial situations because of the last recession, right? So they say millionaires and billionaires are built off the backs of recessions. And unfortunately, you know, at the casualty of a lot of other people. But the fact here is that everybody out there has a chance to be able to make this work. They have a chance to, you know, make some money, right? So a lot of people work for, you know, $2,000, $3,000 a month. Excuse me. Selling T-shirts is something that you can definitely do and make this kind of money. And there's a lot of other things out there. So for those of you that are here, I think this is going to be really good for you. And there's going to be some that's going to say, okay, I'm already selling T-shirts. You might have questions. We'll get into a few questions at the end. But for the most part, again, I think it's going to be really good for the crowd that I see here. And it's going to be good for the recording is going to be good for our future group. And we'll talk a little bit more about the future group at the end of this webinar. But before I get started on the training, I'm going to ask in the chat, and I'm just going to ask you guys, who here is currently selling T-shirts or has sold T-shirts in the past? Give me a few answers in the chat, guys. I mean, I know for a fact, I can see a few on here that I know have either worked with me or got some of my trainings in the past to go ahead and sell T-shirts. But give me some feedback, guys. Just comment in the chat. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today while I'm waiting for your guys' response. And we're going to say picking up a niche and using Google or Google Trends to identify trends. And let me see this chat. All right, looks like I lost my chat. There we go. All right, so Philip never sold tees. Sade never sold tees. Okay, thanks for the feedback, guys. Again, the more feedback, the more, you know, questions I get from you guys throughout this webinar, the better off everything's going to be. So, you know, everybody take some time to go ahead and respond there. I'm going to be typing out some things here, like I mentioned before. Profile pages and photos. So I think a lot of times people struggle with just like the simple stuff, right? The foundational stuff, you know, where to start, how to get designs, you know, things like that. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're also going to be talking about setting up Teespring, which is really easy. It's like setting up any, you know, an email account. And we're going to get into the creator, show you guys how to just put a design on there, set up a fan page. So let me go ahead and write that down. We're going to say setting up a fan page and, you know, picking that niche, as I mentioned before. We're going to get into, again, like I said, we're going to get into Fiverr and another source that you guys can use for designs. And I've been using this source for years. I'm going to say Fiverr and another source, how to get designs. And we're going to say this, we're going to say how to actually promote those designs yourself and make money. Let me ask you guys a question. And you guys can comment this on my Facebook wall. You guys can comment this in the chat or both. Again, let's keep this webinar live, guys. All right. So who here would love to have, or who here has actually had anybody ever ask them if you know anybody that builds a website? Do you know where I can get a logo? Do you know where I can get a t-shirt design? Any of those questions, just say yes, or just say a logo or a website or whatever in the chat. You can do that on my wall. And let's see, sold before, created my own brand. I love it. Shout out to Donette, who's out there building. Never sold teas, developing a new niche potentially. Oh, definitely. Reinvention is something that I always talk about. And it's something that I talked about in my FA formula book, because a lot of times, a trend, and we're going to talk about a trend today that actually faded away. It might come back, and it's still there. But perfect example, that trends fade. So a lot of times you have to kind of reinvent maybe yourself, your brand, or maybe you need to just reinvent a niche because you're not making money there with the t-shirts anymore, right? So, okay, so everybody here, yes, 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 website. People ask us all the time, okay? So we're not going to talk too much about it now. We'll get into it at the end of the webinar. But I actually slept on this for a while, only because I've been busy this last 2 months. We've just been inundated with, client intake and e-commerce and things changing because of COVID. You can't sell this, but you can sell that. And so, I sat back and I had a few people hit me up and say, hey, I need, this or a logo or this, that. And I would send them to Fiverr. I would say, hey, here's the guy that, I'm going to share with you guys today. But it wasn't in a way where I was actually monetizing that. And I says, why not just grab a link and promote? So today I'm going to talk to you guys at the end of this webinar, how you guys can, anytime someone says, hey, I need a logo, hey, I need a flyer, you can send them to Fiverr and you can get some credits there, right? And that might be, depending on what you want, a website, a logo might be a little more cost-effective option. I'm just going to say it, if you're trying to be cheap, and it's okay, because I try to be cheap myself sometimes, even nowadays. But when you're working on a really good project and you want that to stand out, I'm going to give you guys something, like I said, at the end of the webinar, that's really going to help you guys to use this agency to, again, not just get designs and get graphics. And I've, got obviously the hookup for you guys when it comes to the traveling beast, and you'll hear more about that at the end, but then be able to take that out and promote it yourself. All right. So the last thing I want to write here, and this is really just to keep me on track if you guys really want to know. All right. A lot going on right now. So we're going to talk about how to win a spot. And of course, you got to get your own flight and your own hotel and everything. Okay. We're going to talk about how to win a spot in Hawaii, traveling beast. I'm going to say ultimate vision. Who wants to come out to Hawaii, guys? Now this is granted the lockdowns get lifted and the quarantines get lifted and things of that nature, but who's looking to come out to Hawaii, guys? Just want to make sure we don't have anybody else trying to pop in here. I know a couple of you on here are already going to come out, okay? And you guys are locked in. But who would love to visit Hawaii this summer? And I promise you, we are going to get started here, and you're going to love this webinar. But you guys know me, I'm a little long-winded, and I love my people, so I want to make sure everything's on point. Okay, so you have a logo. Shaniqua was there this last year. Awesome. We are planning to spend another month. We spent a month in 2017 for my oldest son's graduation, and the plan is to spend a month. So, God willing, we'll be there. And God willing, this whole lockdown will ease up. So how to win a spot in the Hawaii Traveling Beast Ultimate Vision event, as well as I'm going to be giving away 5 $25 gift cards. All right. That's going to be over the course of the month. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do first thing is, as I mentioned, these notes are here to keep me on track. Right. And to benefit you guys for the length of this webinar. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go head over to Google, and we're going to type in top t-shirt trends or t-shirt trends, something like that. And you can kind of see that there's not even really a lot of people that have typed in 2020 because it generally would pop up. It's like 2019, but we're going to do this top t-shirt trends 2020. So there's really no set, this is where you find them. This is where, you go. This is where the creativeness kicks in. And so, I was kind of doing this early this morning and late last night, just to find some things that I could kind of, help you guys with. But the fact is I found this blog here and I found it really, really interesting because, excuse me, there's a lot of, and again, this is, 20 top t-shirt design trends. And I'll go ahead and post this in the chat for you guys. All right. That way you guys can go ahead and have that for later. Let me know if you guys can click that, swipe that. I believe you can. So this is going to be the top t-shirt design trends for 2020. So again, I think the problem that most people struggle with in the beginning is just like, what to promote, what t-shirts, and is this going to work? And is that going to work? Right. So the fact is t-shirts are something you just have to test. You got to go out. You have to, make a decision, make a commitment to go ahead and promoting that, maybe that rainbow fan page, right? So give me an idea because you guys are consumers. Everybody on this webinar is a consumer. So as I'm going through these, niches here, we'll say rainbows. And I know there's some women on here, maybe the men like the rainbows as well. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. But as I'm going through each of these niches, just type in rainbows. Like if you love rainbows, type in rainbows. Okay. And why am I doing that? Because that's going to really kind of give us an idea of just the people that are on here. If anybody here likes those niches, right? Because the fact is that, and here we go, animal portraits. This is something that I'm sure is huge right now, right? Why? Because, COVID, everybody's home and not that they're just home with their pets and now they love them more, but there's probably a lot more talk about pets and keeping them safe, right? Because, pets are outside and maybe they don't have the love that they had before because, people are losing their jobs and so on and so forth. So who loves dogs? Who loves rainbows? Just type in the chat. There's artwork on shirts. This is something that I thought was really cool as well. Mountains, retro typography, delicate florals, bold statements. I think that this is something that people really need to slow down. This one, I'm going to kind of just hover around this one and slow down and think about what's going on in the world. I see a lot of people on Facebook and they're posting positive messages and kind of manifesting what they want in the future when it comes to, COVID going away and everyone being healthy and the world going back to normal, right? So you talk about social movements. There's a lot of different social movements and political things obviously going on right now. So again, you got to kind of open up your mind when it comes to the quotes itself, right? And I mean, I saw people selling t-shirts with, something about toilet paper, right? And obviously I'm going off track when I talk about, bold statements, but using that in a way that's funny, using that in a way that catches people's attention. So I get a ton of people and they come to me, they say, Jermaine, what do you think about this design? Or what do you think about that design? Right? I think the best way that you could do it is take people that are not in the business, right? Why do I say that? Because if you give a design to someone else and like, oh yeah, that's a good design, they might take it and sell it, right? And that's okay. You might live in abundance, but at the same time, protect your designs and ask, 5 people in your family, hey, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, mom, grandpa, what do you think about this design? And people are going to tell you, right? And really I ask, the people in my household, Ashley or my kids or my nephews, because they understand what's trending. So let me take a peek at the chat again. I know I'm bouncing a little bit, but we'll get into the thick of things here in about 5 minutes. Dogs, bold statements. Okay, so Ebony, bold statements. So again, you can see that there's some likeliness to, just people liking certain things and each other, going for certain things. So far we got dogs, we got inspirational words. So it's kind of like the same type of, the gist of things is the same as the bold statements because people love inspirational words. I know when I take the time and I write out posts about my story or, where I used to be in life at one point, where I always pray to God I'll never be again, right? People love that inspirational side of things that will, give them hope. You know, I used to be $100,000 in debt that I was able to pay off back in 2015, 16, you know, and so that's inspirational. Off-register prints. I'm not going to try to speak too much on this one because I'm not really sure of it. But again, you guys all have the link. So if you want to go back and revisit that, rainbow words, girl power. I mean, I think who here thinks this one would sell? I mean, just that design alone, right? So obviously someone's created that design. You don't want to go and just rip it. But I'm going to talk to you guys on how to do this and actually, yeah, rip it, but do a different design, right? Tell your designer, say, hey, this is what I want, but here's how I want it. I don't want to copy it exactly, but I want to switch it up. I want the font to be different. You know, I want the, whatever, the letters to be different or whatever the case may be, right? So I see the chat going off and I really do appreciate that because again, the more you guys chime in, that's going to give the future viewers, right? Catchy phrases, bold statements, inspirational words. Okay, cool. So again, the future viewers, the people that watch the replay inside of our monthly group, those people are going to get a lot of value from you guys giving feedback. So I do appreciate the consistent, you know, engagement. Geography designs. So is this one. I read this last night or this morning, whenever that was. My days kind of run together now, happening in a geographic area. Okay, so this is going to be good when it comes to geographic areas, and I'm going to show you why and how with Google Trends, okay? So we'll talk a little bit more about that one, how that can work. And then we got abstract drawings. That one's pretty cool. We got oversized back prints, left aligned text. So here's what I'm really saying. Within all this, guys, don't try to reinvent the wheel. If an article is telling you that a lot of these are trending, it's likely that they've done their research. It's likely that they know what they're talking about, right? And so utilize something here that will allow you to get a good design, test it within, you know, a week, 5 days, 3 days. And if that's not working for you, you know, move on to your next niche or move on to your next design. I mean, I'd say never give up on a niche until you're 3 to 5, maybe even 7, 10 designs into it, right? So repeating text designs, excuse me, that's pretty cool. You know, you'd be like entrepreneur, 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 something to that effect. That would catch me, you know, that would catch my attention. I would buy that shirt. Black shirt, white writing, simple. Or a hoodie, you know, entrepreneur, entrepreneur, entrepreneur. So you see a lot of that. And a lot of times we always try to kind of, again, reinvent the wheel, but we don't realize that what people buy is what, you know, is generally trending. That's why you see a lot of it. So this one's cool. The 90s vibe. We went to a 90s party. It was 80s or 90s. I don't remember. But last year, I think it was Halloween time. We went to a 90s party. That was pretty cool. Plastic bag vibes. So I don't know what that one is, but you can go and check that one out. Pocket print designs. This one's really cool, I think. Let me check back, see what people are talking about. We only got a couple more, then we'll get into how to take this and go and get your design. Nurse, medical, first responders. So this one's going to be huge right now. I actually have a nurse page that I started back when I started, you know, Teespring 2013 or 14. And we made some decent money there. We made some money selling T-shirts. We made some money selling mugs, I believe, even on the nurse niche. So that one could be especially huge right now. You know, you might do something like, you know, I love a nurse somewhere in the world or something like that. Or, you know, something to give to a gift, you know, or as a gift to a nurse, right? And so again, this is where you got to get creative. So if you guys can think of anything, drop it in the chat. Anybody can think of a design that maybe a nurse right now, a first responder, somebody that's on the front line fighting COVID would love to buy. And I say that not to go and, you know, obviously, you know, capitalize on a crisis. There's going to be obviously a lot of different views on that. But when you're getting, you know, a shirt or a mug or something that to a nurse, a first responder, frontline, that's going to love it. And it's a gift from a husband or a friend or a grandpa or a mom. It's an amazing gift. So all you're doing is the same thing that your local store is doing, right? So just be fair when it comes to that. I know there's a lot of people that will frown on that, but there's a lot of people that will frown on everything in the world. So I'm working on my nurse page also. Okay, cool. So I think this one's really cool right here. So let's see, you got handwritten typography, you got tiny text. I don't know about that one. I mean, I want people to kind of like see, you know, what's on my shirt. So before we move into grabbing these designs and moving over to talk about how to go and get a design, Does anybody got any questions? It can be simple question. It can be, you know, a question about, you know, again, where to find more designs and things like that. And I got one more thing to show you before we go into Fiverr, before we go into talking about how you can get designs and also, you know, promote, sell them. Does anybody got any questions? Generally, when it's like this, I believe everybody's treading so far. Donette says, I'm working with my page, also something with mass or statement of heroes. Okay, cool. A lot of the design statements are pretty simple yet catchy. Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Google Trends. And I'm just going to type into Google Trends. That's how I find it. It's probably like google.com/trends, but I always just, it's trends.google.com, excuse me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to type in, all right, dogs. We're just going to keep this simple because a lot of times people overthink stuff. And I don't like to see that, because the only time you should be overthinking something, in my personal opinion and from experience and expertise, is when you have something converting in a niche, or you have a store that's scaling, Amazon, eBay, and now the attention should be much deeper in the sense of, okay, how do I scale this thing, right? So in the beginning, it's like, just go. Because if you get paralysis by analysis, like 97% of the internet, okay, you're going to be one of those people on your wall asking, you know, does anybody know where I can get a logo? And you'll be asking that same question for 2 months. I see it. I'm serious. And then 2 months later, they got a logo. And now they're like, does anybody know how to promote a fan page or buy, you know, create a fan page for that matter? So don't overthink things. Just move into, you know, a niche and stay busy with it, because that's the most important part, right? So we are going to do, let's see, give me 1 second. Okay, I want to make sure. I've been halfway through these webinars before and realized I wasn't recording, so I got to make sure this is good and we're good. So dogs, all right? So you can, and you can go, what you could do is you could type in dogs and you could type in pit bulls and you could do some comparison or whatever, right? But before I do that, what I want to do is just talk about the interest over time. So if you think about dogs, look at the consistency. I mean, you're talking from year to year, the search results of people looking at dog, you know, dogs, or we'll do more like dog T-shirt, right? Because that's what we're talking about. So you can see that it's, you know, it's rocky, but it's up and down, but the interest is always there, right? It looks like it's kind of spiking a little bit, right? So it looks like it dropped at the start of the year, but it's spiking. And so remember, we talked about a little bit about geography, wherever that one was, and, you know, like the demographics of things. So what you also want to look at is think about Missouri, right? Georgia. Look at all these. This is telling you what demographics you can promote to. Okay. So next week we'll be talking about Facebook ads and Instagram and things like that, where you can promote specifically to, you know, a state or a city. And let me just give you guys an idea of something that you can do now. This is not going to work right now because there is no sports, but back when there was sports, and I remember one of my partners did this and we got into it somewhat. And again, niches change, things change, and we faded away from that. But this is something that absolutely worked. And then the high school is only so big. So what was happening is we were actually targeting high schools and selling, you know, here is purple and gold. It's the Tigers, you know, so it's like Lemoore Tigers. So we would create a purple and gold shirt and it would say, you know, I am a proud, I forgot the exact phrase, but I'm proud something, you know, when it comes to the school. And those shirts, you target the high school in the city, Lemoore, you know, or whatever, Missouri or Georgia or wherever it's at, and instantly you have that targeted interest. Okay. So again, I'm not going to go too far out, but I don't want to keep it too thin because I want to give a lot of value. So what I just want to ask now, let me back up a little bit. Who thinks this is value so far? This is good stuff. And I think this is really good value because you guys are really engaging here and you guys are, you know, learning and giving feedback. But whoever's getting some value, drop a value in my chat or on my wall or both. I need at least 5 values to move forward. Okay, cool. I got 4. One more. There we go, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Gas. I love it. Okay, cool, cool. Let's keep moving. So again, staying on track, moving into the demographics of things. That's where, so again, it's like pick a niche, decide, okay, I'm going to go into dogs. And I went with dogs because I saw a few people that, you know, said dogs. Okay. So, but now we're going to go over here and we're going to say, do I want to just do dogs and sell dog t-shirts, or do I want to sell, like, let me compare. Do I want to sell like a pit bull t-shirt? Right. Boom. Okay. So we're going to see that the, excuse me, the demand for a pit bull t-shirt, which is surprising to me, right? I would have thought that it, you know, it might be higher, the specified interest in a specific niche. So, you know, there's not enough data here. But again, this kind of shows you guys the difference. Now, if we want to go to, I don't even know how to spell. Let me try to do this. I do not know how to spell Chihuahua. I can spell well, but for some reason I can never spell Chihuahua. There we go. So we're going to say Chihuahua t-shirt. Okay. Boom. So if we look at this here, the pit bull t-shirt is taking the cake, right? So for whatever reason, August of last year had a really high search result. Okay. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I just wanted to open up the creative juices, but if anybody wants to do another, you know, comparison or give me a niche, just drop something else in the chat. We'll play around with this a little bit more. And then we're going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to show you another way to use Google to find trends and things of that nature. But I think for the sake of creating a fan page, for the sake of this training, I'm going to go ahead and just go with dogs. I'm going to go with pit bulls. Autism. Okay, cool. So that's going to be one that I have a page right now that is growing. And I'll tell you why, because we've started posting as of late. We've started posting some relevant things. I'll say that much. On another one of our pages, I don't want to give away the exact thing that we're selling. Do live in abundance, but I also do have an order in for about 200 of those things that people are buying right now, and it's not a t-shirt. Okay. So again, getting creative is going to be huge, guys. So the comparison here is that there is, you know, a lot more hits for the autism shirt, right? So that's a really good one, Donette. So again, probably a, you know, let's see, autism mug. Let's do something in the same niche, but a different product, right? So you're still going to have a higher demand for, you know, obviously the shirts. Let's do like an autism sticker. I know we've sold those. That is not what I'm talking about, but we have and still do sell those on one of our niche pages. So we've got the shirt, but the stickers, you can see the stickers don't do too bad either. So here's another thing that you want to do, guys, is think about this. We've just found 2 products. We found one niche. We found 2 products that will sell, right? It's telling you that people are searching for this stuff, right? And some of these niches you get into, you might find a higher demand. You know, it might be 1,000 or 500 or 100. And so obviously that's kind of like what you're looking for. But the fact is, you know, really, really look at Donette, Louisiana, okay, Virginia, Michigan. You know, this is telling you that when you go into, you know, and we'll switch it to sticker here, it's still the same demographics, right? So next week or the week after, when we get into advertising, you know, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I know I keep jumping, but I just want to make sure I don't leave anybody out of the webinar because I've got to admit them into the webinar. All right. So any questions so far, guys? I wouldn't say the benchmark. I would just say that, again, you know, there's a lot of people that say, well, what about softwares and what about this and that? But they've never sold a t-shirt, Nick, right? It's like, why spend, you know, $49 monthly, $29 or even $99 monthly on something that's going to really, you know, dig deep down when it comes to finding t-shirt niches or finding t-shirts that have even sold before, right? Why get too much into that until you start selling a few t-shirts? So I think that that's my biggest emphasis here is for people that have never done it and have said that they've never done it, you know, just start with this, like do it this way, because I'm telling you, most every client I've had, thousands and thousands and thousands of clients, literally in the last 10 years, right? Maybe even tens of thousands, whether it be a business opportunity or whether it be, selling a t-shirt or selling on Amazon, most people overcomplicate things. And they say, well, can you just give me a step by step, right? Then you give them the guide, the ebook, the training, and they just, you speak to them week to week. Oh yeah, I haven't got through that yet, right? So that's why I just try to, step by step, follow this, use it this way. And then, once you sell a couple of t-shirts, get excited and kind of revamp your strategy. That's, I guess, the emphasis of what I'm trying to get across, Nick. Keep it simple. But to answer your question, I definitely would say it's not the benchmark per se. So we're going to head to Google and we are going to do this. All right. We're going to say Teespring. We said pit bulls. We'll do it for autism and we'll do it for pit bulls. All right. So do realize that people that are selling on Teespring, all you got to do is type in, Teespring pit bulls or Teespring autism. You are going to find designs. Okay. Now, what I'm not telling you is go out and just totally blatantly copy somebody's design. What I am telling you is to go out, copy their design at a minimal level and revamp it. Switch the colors up, switch the pit bull up, switch the font, whatever, right? Because this is not Nike. This is not, Amazon. This is not Google. They do not own the design per se, but let me tell you this, that some people do, okay? And they can report you to Teespring. I've had it happen. All that happens is they tell you to take it down. You take it down and you find a new design, okay? But there is, look at this. This here reminds me of, like autism. I don't know if it is, but it just, the colors kind of like brings out autism to me and pit bulls. So if you're talking about hitting two different niches, right? And we get into targeting, you'll see why that's important, because you can target people that love pit bulls that have kids that are autistic, right? And so again, I don't know if that's an autism color. I don't think it is a spectrum shirt, but these are, anybody else think these are really cool shirts? Let me see what you guys are saying to me in the chat. Do you think Teespring is a good way to go? Definitely. And again, there's other platforms like Gear Bubble, and there's, believe it was Flip yesterday asking about apps within Shopify. So a lot of times, it's kind of just finding what's working with you. If you have a Shopify store, you might do something like what Flip was talking about. You might do something like, I can't even think of the one we use in our Shopify store as of the moment. But if I do, I'll let you guys know. So in high school, they call it cheating. In business, it's called masterminding. There you go. I love it. So Ebony says she would buy it. Do you think Teespring is a good way to go? 100%. I mean, just again, the goal here is to start because it's free, right? So Donette says she uses it also. Perfect. Moving forward. All right. So again, I'm seeing some really cool designs here, but I'm going to go back. We're going to go back real quick and we are going to click on another one. And generally the ones that are weighted sold the most, or excuse me, that are sold the most will weight to the top of Google, right? So, you'll see here, don't judge my pit bull and I won't judge your kids. So I think these are cool. Pit bull mom, that's a tank top. Summer's coming up. Save the, okay. So that one's looks like a breast cancer awareness, which is, it stands out. I won't read it, but I think you guys could. So now I lie me down to bed, now down to sleep beside the bed, my pit bull I keep. If he wakes and you're inside, the ambulance van will be your next ride. So, it's stuff like this that people are going to buy, right? And I know they used to show back when it was like X amount sold and things like that, right? So let's get into creating, right? So let's go ahead and let's just say, I'm not actually going to do this. All right, guys, but this is the process. You're going to head over to Fiverr. You're going to sign up and you're going to go type in, we'll do logo when we go into like the fan page stuff. So here's the thing. If you want to do a brand and you want to get a logo, do it. I mean, spend you can find people they're a lot more expensive now, but you can find people that, and you can even use filters. There's one right here, $15. Okay. But what I'm saying is you can find them for $5. So that's another thing is like people, they don't know if something's going to work and they don't want to spend $10 if it's not going to work. But you can see right here, I will create 5 unique business logos with complete files. 5 logos for $10. If that's what he's offering, let's check it out. So these are the creative concepts, right? So this is what I would do until I had niche that was converting, right? So you get something like this that's simple. You know, actually these look pretty decent. You probably can resell these to a certain degree, right? And again, these are just like, this is like Fiverr quality. This is something that, you know, you get what you pay for. Okay, let's be honest, let's be real. So again, if you're gonna do a niche, get your logo. So go over to this guy, buy it. I'm not gonna go through that process. It's easy. You buy it. You tell them that you want a logo that has a pit bull on it. You want it to look autistic. You want it to have all the spectrum colors because you're promoting in that niche. Done. So you submit that gig, boom, you spent $10, whatever, okay? So now you have a logo that you can put into your fan page. Remember that, because we're gonna talk about that when I start creating that fan page here in just about 5-10 minutes. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna say Teespring, all right? Because there's a lot of Teespring, you know, designers here. So, you know, you guys asked the question of, do you think Teespring is a good way to go? Now, if there's, oh, that's Printful. That's the one we use on our Shopify store. So Teespring and Printful. Okay. So there's 210 people that have bought this guy's gig here. And you could probably look around and see, and this is like his main thing. I will set up your Teespring shop. So there's a lot of people using it, right? So it's kind of like Robinhood when you buy stocks. People say, well, is Robinhood good? It's a way to buy stocks. If you want to do options and all that, do Ameritrade and E-Trade and learn how to, you know, do trading that way. But Robinhood is kind of like your user-friendly approach. Fiverr is your user-friendly approach. All right. So, you know, again, find a guy that, you know, fits your budget. And if you don't know how to set up the store, because I'm not going to go through setting up a store per se, pay this lady $10 to do it. Okay. Or pay my 17-year-old kid $5 to do it. He should set up a Fiverr, because it doesn't take much is what I'm trying to emphasize, guys. Set up your Teespring. But if they're saying I'll add designs to it, even if they're ugly designs, I'm just being honest, right? Because if you look at this gig here, talking about coronavirus, I don't know about that one, right? I survived coronavirus. That's probably one of the ugliest, you know, designs you could see. So again, you know, to set up your store and put the designs are not going to probably be that worth it, but you can get some better designs from someone like this, right? I mean, look at the color in that, right? Look at the tools that they're using to create the shirts. So that's another thing is people say, well, do you think this one's good? Yeah, but this one's better, right? And so if they're charging you one design for $25, guys, just for being on this webinar today, I'm going to show you guys a way and how you can go and get actually 3 designs for $25. Okay. And we'll do that in just a minute. Who would want 3 designs for 25 versus, you know, 1 for 25? And they're going to be this type of quality or better. Okay. So the reason I'm showing you both options is simply because, again, some people will spend the 5 and the 10 and say, okay, I'm only 15 in. But then some people will go spend the 25 and another 50 and another 75 and still be cool with that. Okay. So again, this is like a COVID webinar, right? In the sense of, I want people to have something that, you know, if they got $50 to their name, they can make this work. Now you're going to need part 2 of this webinar, of course, but they can make this work. Okay. So let me move into the chat and make sure everybody's following. I do suggest to go there because I've done it and I do it and I like to lead by example. So I'm never going to teach anything. I know this is not what you're insinuating, Donette, and so I mean this in the lightest way possible, but I'm never going to teach anything that I don't currently do or that hasn't worked really well for me in the past. So definitely. Now, again, I'm going to show you the second thing that I do and the second way that I get designs. And actually one of my most favorite, but again, I tell people, I don't care how much money we make, certain projects call for certain budgets, okay? And it might not be my budget, budget. It might be one of our clients. And so I have to have options. So my favorite way to go and get designs, I'm going to show you at the end of this webinar, okay? So you guys can, I can walk you through it and we're not jumping around too much, okay? So it's the same concept. When you go to where I'm going to show you, and again, you can even sign up to promote as an affiliate, which is a beautiful part of it. And of course, he's doing special pricing for us because I've known him for, 8 years. And so once you go ahead and you get your t-shirt designs, whether you're going here or you're heading over to where I'm going to show you a little bit later, you're going to buy the designs. You're going to take your link, right? You're going to take your link for, let's see, where did I leave that? You're gonna take your link for the t-shirt, and I'm gonna close this out before I start confusing myself here. And you're gonna give that to, so you got your logo in the works. Awesome, right? You're gonna get your t-shirt designs in the works. Awesome. Okay. What you're gonna do when they send them back, because I know this is so simple, but some people say, well, how do I get the design, or how do I do XYZ? You're gonna click on the link that they give you, and it's gonna download to your computer, okay? And then you're gonna upload it to Teespring, which I'm gonna show you here in just a minute. So these are all things that if you guys have like really specific questions, or you need help with these little intricate things, these are all things we're gonna be helping you guys with in the affiliate beast mode group on a day-to-day, weekly basis, okay? So for some of you guys, you're already part of that group. We had some issues with PayPal. Of course, PayPal never loves, us marketers, right? So I'm switching everybody over to Square. I've had a few people, I think Lynette that's on here, and quite a few others that I've sent out invoices. So for anybody that's wanting to be in that monthly group, I'll tell you how at the end of the webinar to get there, but I'm also going to tell you, just inbox me on Facebook. We'll get you squared away. We'll get you into the group. And I want to make sure that week to week, things like OfferUp, selling on OfferUp, selling t-shirts, using Bing ads for ClickBank. These are the things that you guys are, actively testing. Okay. I'm not saying, go sign up for Teespring and do all these things I'm showing you're going to make a bunch of money. But no, if you're not actively doing these things and then asking in the group, well, hey, what about this design, or what about that? And getting that guidance, then you're likely going to be confused a lot of times. Okay. So I think Donette just said in my chat, are you in there? Not yet. I'm starting everybody over. I believe you're in there. But again, I got to get the invoices out to everybody. So just inbox me after the webinar. We'll take care of you. I've been holding on to my t-shirt idea for a year. I just put it all together. That's the kind of talk I like to hear. Have used Fiverr before. It was easy to communicate with the designer. I love Fiverr. Using whose ads, Bing ads. Yes, and again, we're going to talk more about advertising later. So let's keep treading. So you get your design back, right? You paid your $25. You get your design back, and you move forward. Okay. So the fact is, this is a good offer. Okay. And again, the beauty of Fiverr is if you go down, and I think if you scroll down here, you can either become an affiliate or just invite friends to get credit. And that's generally what I do, is just invite friends and get a credit. Okay. So you can easily promote that way yourself. All right. So now once you get your designs, the next thing you need to do is you need to head over and you need to click on start designing. So I just always start with t-shirts and then I branch out from there. So we'll just say apparel, we'll just say unisex t-shirt, start with this. Let me go back. I know that was a little fast. So realize that there's sweaters and, Teesprings came a long ways. They got like sports bras now and dresses and swimsuits and leggings. So, pillows, and this is something we've done to the grandma niche. The pillows, had a nice, I forgot the quote, but there was a quote on there. Mugs, phone cases. Again, this is where a lot of the creativeness comes into play. So if you have a specific niche and it's all about phones, then obviously phone cases make sense. Or, you have a piece or inspirational thing, you might do that kind of design. So, but again, to keep it simple, not get too much into all that, because it's all about the design, right? And getting the right measurements. So I'm going to click on sell. And then I've just got an image here. And we talk about trends that, I'm going to go back to Google Trends. We talk about trends that expire. We talk about trends that, may at one point of the year be higher, go up and down. Well, here's one that if we just type it in, and we capitalized on this, last year. Look at that. So the interest here was at 100. It was just, and then it, went down for a while I think that this was between the time they're supposed to have the, Area 51 thing out in Vegas, which turned out to be, small or whatever than they expected, but they still went out there and nobody got on the base because it's not going to happen. Right. But you can see here it spiked back up when they had that event and it just kind of flatlined. Okay. So that's actually the example that I'm going to show you how to add, because again, remember, I know some of you guys may know how to do this, but if you look here, I've got a design and it's Area 51. And I think this one says, oh yeah, this one says, take me to your leader. Okay. And, it's simple. You want to make sure that your image is in a, PNG. which is going to be your, transparent logo. So you don't want this to be on the, you want to make sure you tell your designer, I need a PNG logo. So it looks like this, right? I don't even know if this one is PNG, but we can find out. I know that we made this, I believe, for a white t-shirt. So it works. But if we go to black, okay, it works. So it's PNG, right? Just meaning that no matter what color I put it, it's going to show through like this. But of course, if I do white, you can't really see the alien. So maybe it was a black shirt that we did it for. Anyway, point is, you don't want it to look like a sticker. Okay, you want it to be, you see some of those shirts and it's got like a sticker. It looks like a sticker, and to me that just looks ugly. I think now the kids actually, that's like a trend or something. But for the sake of making it look clean, you want to make sure you get a PNG design, not logo. I think I was saying design. So again, this is not something I'm going to actually promote. You want to take a look at your profit, $11.42 per sale. I'd say $18.99 starting out, right? Make them affordable. That's debatable. That's subjective, because if you make a shirt, we've sold shirts as high as $23.99, right? And you're making $13.42 profit per sale. And a lot of times when you put your shirt higher, what happens when something costs more? I had to teach this to my kids, and I think they've learned over the course of time themselves now, but expensive doesn't always mean better quality, right? More expensive doesn't ever mean, or doesn't always mean that. But a lot of times we attach our value, our perceptual value to a t-shirt that costs more, right? We might walk in and see a t-shirt like this, right next to the Area 51 because they had a shop set up, and we'd say, oh, cool, $23.99, I'll take it. Because we're in the moment, we're feeling, good about whatever it is we're doing or where we're at. And so we buy it, but then, we see it online and we're like, that's only worth $15. So again, you got to kind of play with that, and that's really up to you. But I'd say, $18.99 or so, anywhere between $17.99 and $21.99 at the most. It's a t-shirt, guys. Let's be real. So you can play around with the cotton and higher quality, lower quality, all those things. I'm not going to get into that, but that is an option there. Now, probably should have made this green. Again, I'm not really going to promote it, so it doesn't matter. But that would be something to think about. I'm going to make it green because it's aliens, whatever the case may be. So what you're going to do here is you can add in, hooded t-shirts or hooded sweaters. You can add in, regular sweaters, whatever. So I'm just going to add in the hoodie. You can add in, tank tops. Summer's coming up. And here's one thing I used to do back in the day is I would just add in everything, right? Think about what you would wear. Think about, again, how it would look on you and what types of articles of clothing that you would buy, okay? The socks, you can't tell what they say. Don't, I don't think so, at least. Don't do the socks. Maybe a bag, maybe the leggings, again, it's not something that you can really tell what it says. You got to kind of like look around it. So again, to keep it simple, we'll do the hoodie, the tank top, and the tee. And let me get back over here with you guys. Higher perceived value, or the thought you get what you paid for kicks in. Yeah, exactly. So any recommendation for resolution upload? No, I don't have a recommendation, to be honest. I don't get too much into that stuff. I can tell you that I have had some images that are low resolution, never really understood why, because I didn't understand resolution back then, right? So leave that to your designer. If your thing comes back blurry, say, yo, I need a higher resolution. Which one is this? Ask them, right? Let them kind of lead that path. And so a lot of people, again, they'll focus on, softwares to use and create their own graphics even, or designs. And it's like, we end up spending much more time and thought and effort into something that we may like to, right? And I'm going to be honest, this is probably, I've been on with you guys for about 45 minutes. This is probably, for something like this, for me to do this is probably, of course, I'm teaching and training at the same time, but this is probably 30 minutes more than I would have took to create this whole campaign and create the fan page and put it up. 15, 20 minutes, because a lot of this, guys, you got to think about this. A lot of this happens in your mind first, right? It's like, wait, what's trending right now? Oh, Area 51. Okay. Well, let me go to Google. And so you're on your phone and you're like, well, let me type in, again, Area 51 or Pitbull t-shirts or whatever the case may be, right? And so you start to kind of develop a lot of how that's going to look in your mind. And then when you go to get the design, get the logo, create the fan page, you're just doing it because you're waiting on a logo now. You're waiting on a design. So then you're kind of setting up the shell of it. And so that's how I kind of like to see things. And you got to kind of have foresight when it comes to not just this kind of stuff, but like funnels and websites. And you know, when I took CSS and HTML in college, we had to build a website on a piece of paper, you know, how it looked, right? So we'd have to do the blocks here and, you know, this is how it's going to look. And that's what you create from. So again, a lot of it sometimes is going to be foresight, okay? Being able to kind of see what you want to promote before you promote it. Then just do it. Because if you spend too much time on it, then you start to feel like, you know, you wasted a bunch of time, right? So Area 51, Teespring. Here's my advice on, you know, filling out your description here is find something that you like. This one's very basic. I don't think they spend too much time into it. I should have kept the pit bull one up. And let me just see if I can pull that back up. Pit bull Teespring, because they had a description that was actually very good. I don't know. I think it was the first one, but I'll find it. Give me a second, guys. So, I mean, something like this is even a little more catchy, right? So, you know, copy that, switch up the words a little bit. We need a minimum of one. I think that sounds desperate. So this is probably not a good one. You know, we need a minimum of one order to print. I wouldn't say that. You know, I'd say buy with confidence. I'd leave that out. You know, from we're lovers, not fighters, you know, whatever. From Area 51, tees, you know, visit us on Facebook. And that's the other thing is again, that's why you take your time when you're doing a niche, you really want to, you know, it might be Area 51, you know, take me to your leader. You want to find as many ways for people to find you in throughout your content, right? So the real gist of what I'm teaching you here is don't sit here and try, you know, you can ask questions in the group or, you know, we can, you know, give you ideas or whatever, but don't overthink it. Take me to your leader, because you can always go back and revise it, right? And I always do come some type of scarcity, like ends, I don't know what, May 1st, right? And that's too long, but if you could put it in there, put it in there. Maybe put it in your description. And you can also select the image that like if you have the back of a t-shirt, you can show the back first. And this is just adding to a store, right? So I'm not going to do any of that. You can create a store. You can add it to an existing listing, right? Which is just adding it to a store or another listing that you did. So here's another thing that you can do is you can even put a link to another t-shirt right in here. So that way, like, you know, when you're driving traffic to this one, they start flipping through the other ones, right? And you can create a store. All right. So then you publish it. Okay. And then once you publish it, you know, you grab the link and that's the link you promote. Okay. And I'm not going to publish this because I guess I could to show you guys. All right. So time for questions, guys. I'm going to move into a fan page. We'll do that in probably about 5-10 minutes, if that. Again, you grab your link and you go sell. All right. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to see if there's any questions. I see somebody else trying to chime in. Mr. Willie in the house. We've got probably about 15 minutes left. I will make sure you definitely get the replay, Mr. Willie. Let's see, web design, storyboarding. I'm not seeing what you were talking about. Can you redo that? What was that, Shaniqua? That I was talking about.
What you just pulled the link from to get to where you are, that little part, that last little part.
Oh, right here.
Where are you getting that from?
This is after I published the Teespring campaign. So after I publish it, that's what the link looks like up here at the top. You just grab the link. Does that make sense? Shaniqua?
Yes, it does. It
Okay.
does.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure before I moved on. Cool, cool. All right. So again, grab the link, and then this is where you're gonna go into creating a fan page. And for whatever reason, when I've always done this, I don't do sports. Most of you guys are here probably know that, but I just always go to like a fan page, and then from there, on the side, it's gonna say create a page. I just like to give people some simple way, because some people say, well, I don't know how to create a page, or whatever the case may be, and it's really simple. Okay, so I'm gonna do business or brand, and we'll call this, I don't know, Area 51. I know I was gonna do dogs earlier, but you guys get the point. This can be I love pit bulls. It could be pit bulls. Take me, if you want to take me to your leader, right? Now, again, this is just a dummy page. This is not something I'm gonna promote. So this is gonna be your niche, pit bulls or whatever the case may be, right? So I don't see aliens as a category. So let's see, what else do we got? Let's see, let's say website. So just put website in there. Category doesn't really matter. And my Facebook is blowing up. All right, so here's where you'd add in a profile picture. Okay, so remember that logo that we talked about earlier? That's where you'll go ahead and you'll add in, that logo, or a profile picture. It could be, an alien or something like that. So I mean, literally, you can go to Google and just type in, alien images or whatever, right? And then go to images, and it could be that, and just obviously be careful about what you use. You could go to like, what is it? Stock photos. Type in free stock photos, and it's Shutterstock, something like that. So if you want to pay $1 to protect yourself from using someone else's images or whatever, do it. But remember, that's why you want to get the logo created, over at Fiverr. So you upload that here. Okay, and I'm just going to upload the same picture, just acting like I got this back from Fiverr as a logo. Looks good. I like it. Boom, I'm going to put that up there. Okay, so a profile, a cover photo is going to be, a cover photo is, let's say, Facebook cover photo, alien. Okay, so a Facebook cover photo is going to be the one that goes in the background. You can see they're a little bit longer. It's not a square. It's like the rectangle, right? So I'll save this image for the sake of training and time. I know we've been on over an hour here. So we'll go ahead and upload this. We'll call this alien image. Boom. All right, now it looks like it probably didn't take my cover photo. We'll try again. Oh, there it goes. All right, so we'll save that. And we're good to go. So again, you guys, Facebook, if you're not gonna grab an image from Google and you wanna do something like a brand, take your logo that you got, get your logo first, then upload your logo to give to the people that will create the Facebook timeline cover. So that way they can put your logo inside of the cover here, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to anybody, please let me know. So again, taking that logo that you initially got, putting that into your cover photo so that it kind of like really represents your brand, right? And the same thing here, your logo. Then the next thing you're gonna do is you're just gonna go back and grab your link, and you're gonna grab Jing software, okay? And you're gonna go ahead and Jing this all out. And Nick mentioned resolution earlier. The resolution on this doesn't look too good, right? So this would be something that I might do like Nick said earlier, go out and ask them, hey, can you up the resolution on that? Fix it, whatever you gotta do on your end, because it doesn't look good. So I'll call this leader. Just call that leader. So all I'm doing is saving the image in here. I'm cropping it out. You could do a lot more things like putting price on there, things of that nature. But to keep it simple, grab the image, head over to your fan page, and what do we call that? Leader. paste that in. Whoop, that's the wrong link. We'll grab the link and we will paste this in here. We'll say, you know, and this was like, you know, going to area 51 was area 51 raid. You know, grab this tea to, you know, show your love, whatever. I mean, that would be, you know, I do more something like that on like a grandma page, you know, show your love for your grandkids or whatever. But again, this is not going to be a real post. It's not going to be something that I'm going to promote. This is for the sake of training. So again, if anybody has any questions or none of this is making sense right now, speak now, forever hold your peace, right? I believe it's all pretty straightforward. And I was excited to share this because I've got a bunch of people, even people that are not on here, saying, hey, you know, what's something cost effective? What's something simple? I lost my job. I don't have a big budget. You know, what's something that I can do to make money, right? And so this is something that I did when I was struggling. This is something that I continue to do over the course of time, maybe as a side hustle, right? Maybe we're not totally doing full campaigns like we used to, but this is something that absolutely works. And a lot of times I log into my Teespring and I say, oh, cool, $104, you know, sold 6 T-shirts on my grandma's store from a post that I did 6 months ago, okay? So when you really start to feed into a niche, when you focus on it, when you build it, when you coincide a Facebook group with it, we'll talk more about that later, okay, in the next webinar. And before we get into the final kind of piece of this, again, if you got any questions, let me know. We're going to say next webinar is going to cover the traffic aspects. Whoop. And we're going to say group aspects. All right. Again, I'm taking notes to transfer over for myself for when we do this next webinar. And if there's anything you guys can think of that you want me to cover when it comes to getting traffic, or something that I may have left out, or something that, you know, you want me to spend more time on, again, speak now, forever hold your peace. I'm going to close out Fiverr. Okay, we don't need, or excuse me, Teespring and Fiverr. We don't necessarily need them anymore right now. What I'm going to do next is I am going to talk to you guys about what I promised. All right, so we're going to be doing an event in Hawaii. Again, I know there's some people on here that are already going to be there. I think Donette already got her flight. Let's see who else. Willie, we hope to see you out there. Judy, I believe, is going to be there. And we've got about 5 other people that are already locked in. So what I'm going to be doing, obviously you have to get your own flight, your hotel, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to be giving away for the first 50 people that join the Affiliate Beast Mode / Ultimate Vision group. Remember, we have a group. So if you're watching this webinar, you're like, okay, I was part of that group. Again, we had some issues with PayPal. We've gotten that squared away, and no pun intended, but we're going to be using Square to invoice people on the monthly basis. Okay. So if you want to win a spot in Hawaii, all I want you guys to do is, once this video is uploaded, is I want you guys to share this video. I want you guys to tag me and tell me whatever value you got in this video. It could be inside one of your private Facebook groups, could be on your wall. And the only other thing you got to do is be part of the $19.99 a month group. Okay. And what we're going to be doing in there is focusing a lot more time on the people that, you know, are building pages, are doing OfferUp, the people that might need help with Bing. Okay. And I'm going to really listen to and survey the group and figure out what the kind of things that you guys are struggling with, and continue to put out valuable content. So remember, and I said this before, this is going to end up being something that's going to be $39 a month eventually. But right now it's only $19.99 a month. And again, I'm the first 50 people that join, I'm going to basically do a drawing, and we'll do that probably about June 1st for that. And May 1st, for the first 5 people that join, okay, basically people could, you know, join for free the first month, because I'm going to be giving away 5 $25 gift cards. If you're watching this in the future, still do the same thing, join up. I'm going to show you how to join up here in just a minute. Share this video. Tell me how much value you've gotten from the video, and share it with somebody that may just want to learn how to promote T-shirts, okay? And what I want to do now is I want to go over to Beast Invade Hawaii, okay? And what we're going to do there is, that was a good event. I think Willie was there. Were you at that event, Willie? I believe so. So what we're going to do now is I mentioned another source, and Willie knows Bruce, and Bruce is amazing at what he does when it comes to design and graphics and flyers and websites and things of that nature. So the beauty of this is, when you're watching this video, you can see there's a video placeholder here. It's going to be two places. It's going to be one, it's going to be here on beastinvadehawaii.com. Two, I'm going to put this up on beasttakeover.com. All right. And let's go ahead and talk about Beast Invade Hawaii. So you guys can see here, July 12th and 13th. We're going to be doing 11th and 14th as a VIP. If you guys are interested in more about the VIP experience, let me know. Now, remember, this is all based on the country reopening, and at least Hawaii reopening, right? And I think we're on our way. They're starting to talk about reopening the country and things of that nature. And if you're watching this video in the future, it's likely that the dates have changed for the next event. Okay, so the concepts are still going to apply. But the next thing you're going to do is click on Get Designs Direct from Bruce. Okay, so this is where once you grab one of the Traveling Beast specials, okay, again, you can get 3 t-shirt designs for $25. And I mean, Bruce has got a really good team. He's grown so much since I've met him. Again, we've probably known him for, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. And the videos, I mean, that you see, right? The promo videos that you see on a lot of our pages, he's done. A lot of the imagery that we get, professional photography, he's done. So what he's done as of recent is created his own system where you can go in, and I think it's something affiliate. But again, once you get one design or 2 or 3 or anything from here, you can then go on to actually promote it. So if somebody says, hey, I need a website, or hey, I need t-shirt designs, you can go there, create your own webinar. You can go then create your own little promo, and you can sell websites, okay, and get commission based on Bruce. And again, the what they're banking on, and I'm just going to be totally 100% transparent, guys. What him and his team bank on, because they do volume, is not just volume, but a lot of times people will go in and they'll get a website. Okay, so it's a really good lead in, the t-shirt designs. And again, I'm always transparent. You guys know that about me. But I share this to say that you could literally build a business around selling designs, selling, logos, things of that nature, and get commission. He pays out PayPal like every Friday. Okay. So again, this is something that I slept on for a while, but I wanted to make sure that I brought it to everyone's attention, because it's as simple as getting, into his back office and creating your own link or grabbing your own link. So again, you're going to be watching the video on this page. You can sign up for Fiverr here and become an affiliate there. You can grab the designs from Bruce. I wanted to give you guys 2 options, because I never like people to think that something's, one-sided, just go with Bruce because, when you click my link, I'm going to make money. No, it's more so, again, I wanted to do something nice for everybody that's sitting at home and struggling due to COVID, and give them something that they can, if they have $50, they can start a business. Okay. If they have $100, they can start a business, and maybe even with a little bit less than that. Okay. So again, sharing this video, once it's uploaded, sharing the Beast Invade Hawaii, sharing Beast Takeover, and joining the monthly here. Now remember, there's OfferUp training already in there. Okay. We're adding more modules as we go along. And that is Beast with an S at the end, beasttakeover.com. And again, you can see here, setting up your offer Beast, how to get OfferUp working for you, how to use Megatrends to sell POD. So we actually have another webinar module in there that you'll love. And then the Teespring setup and fan page training, which you're actually watching right now. And then this will be module 5 and 6 and 10 and so on and so forth. I'm committing to doing at least once per month, if not once per every 2 weeks. Okay. So it's likely that the next webinar you're going to see is going to be 2 weeks out. I've got coming up next Monday, I've got a live stream I'm doing with somebody. I'm going to go live with them there. So I don't want to commit that week. But again, same thing on this page. You can get designs direct from Bruce. You can sign up as a Fiverr affiliate. And then if you're looking to join the monthly, you have to inbox me at this point, because we're not, again, taking PayPal, okay, through the page like we've done in the past. We're going to be putting you onto a Square monthly reoccurring for only $19.99, okay? And the reason I say it that way is because the amount of value that I'm going to spill into this group, and then the one call that you'll get per month with me, if you schedule that call, is hands down. I mean, people pay, $5, $10, $20,000 just to get coaching for myself. But I wanted this to be an entry point for people to, number one, get results. Number two, have some discipline and accountability, okay, in their lives, because this is the biggest problem that I find when I do coaching is people are not disciplined. I can give you guys the whole goods, and then next week I speak with someone and they're still in the same space, okay? So the coaching group is going to help you guys, you know, have some accountability, be able to have a community to ask questions around and things of that nature. And again, I'm going to be putting a lot more content and stacking value into that. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this webinar, and I really hope you got a lot of value. Again, Beast Takeover, Beast with an S at the end, takeover.com, Beast with an S at the end, invadehawaii.com are going to be the two places that you can watch, experience this video, and get the value. And again, there's some Bing advertising, free training here, some free training on OfferUp, okay? But these modules moving forward are going to only be accessible to the paid group, okay? They'll be accessible for about 24 to 48 hours like I've done in the past, and then we'll have them only inside of the Facebook group and private on YouTube, so on and so forth. So with that said, any questions, any comments? Hopefully you guys got some value today. I want to end this on a high note. So talk to me. Talk to me. Looks like Flip jumped off. Okay, same process to create. Yeah, similar process to create an Instagram page, but there's not a fan page per se. You're creating a niche page, Nick. So you're creating an actual Instagram for that. You're not just creating a fan page. And Judy, we miss you too, and we will see you soon, I'm sure. Let's see, jump off, great value. This info will help so many people. Oh, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. And he shared something in there for media pixel size images. The event is July 12th and 13th, Ebony. We can definitely talk more about that. How would OfferUp work for this? I got the module in the group where you can hit me up for that, Nick, and you can kind of go through that yourself. OfferUp wouldn't work per se for the t-shirts necessarily. But it works in a different way. Yes, Bruce is awesome. Judy, nuggets on nuggets, awesome info. Worth this. I appreciate you, Willie. I really do. Thank you. Great value. The link to Bruce, let me go ahead and if you go to beasttakeover.com, Hadley, you can go ahead and you can click the link there. Okay. Shaniqua, thank you very much. And no problem, Nick. I appreciate you jumping on and giving some feedback. And again, keeping this webinar live. I know there were some people that had problems getting on. So they're going to get to the replay, like I said, for about 48 hours. If anybody's interested in that monthly group, go ahead and hit me up. And the webinar will be available either tonight or tomorrow. We still got to render it, upload it, you know, etc. Give me some time. I've got some other things going on in the background. Much love, everybody. Jermaine Lead Monster still here. Beast Takeover, Beast with an S at the end.com. Beast with an S at the end, BeastInvadeHawaii.com. And share this video, tag me, you know, let me know what you got on Facebook. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.